Everybody's doing good today. All right, we continue to get really high quality work. We're kind of working our way through the installation. We got miles to go. Um, and we're inching along here, but really have strung some productive days together. We need to continue to do that. We'll be in full gear today for the first time, practice number 6. Um, I think we got momentum. We got a little bit of momentum. We're trying to build towards Saturday being scrimmage number 1. We've been 2 days in spiders, 3 days in shells. Ramping it up here and really pleased with the progress. At this time of the year, it's all about the right combination of, what volume of install are you carrying and then the level of execution, right? So I think we've seen kind of the ebbs and flows of that. When we throw a lot of information at them, maybe the execution level goes down and then we kind of recover and it improves. So that's kind of where we're at. I think as a staff, we're kind of in that mode of evaluating what's productive for this group of players, what can we execute efficiently, and then individual players, right? What are we going to build around? What are the strengths and weaknesses of each unit? Less of this, more of that, oftentimes very much a process. Before we get to questions, we're excited to announce we sold more season tickets at this point, maybe than in the last 5 years, right? So really very thankful, for the support. We've got unbelievable fans, the alumni group that we have. The students obviously selling out their portion of the tickets. So, getting closer. Just a few spots left, just a few tickets left. I'm really excited about that. We said in the very beginning here, if we're going to have success, it's going to require a team effort. And I think our fans and their positive energy, the things that they bring to game day to make the Swamp a very unique and challenging place to play, there's no question that we're very thankful and appreciative of their support. So we also are excited about moving in the Hebner Center. Sunday will be our first opportunity as an organization to move into there. We've kind of started that process incrementally this week. Obviously, a lot of time, effort, and energy, and certainly the investment that a lot of our supporters have made into really improving our facility. Everyone wants to talk about recruiting when it comes to the facility, but I think it's more important to our player experience. It screams commitment and certainly the efficiency and how we're going to be able to improve as an organization. Time is of the essence, and I think the new facility is going to create more efficiency for everyone involved. So what questions do we have today?
Go ahead, guys. We'll just open up for questions. Billy, everybody's talked about Anthony Richardson. Obviously, we'd like to know what your impressions are of him. But would you talk about the rest of the quarterback room and what you're seeing from them so far? I know it's early in the practice thing, but you obviously have impressions of each guy out there.
Yeah, friends. I mean, I think we've got a chance to watch these guys for 5 days. Anthony, there's no question that his confidence and comfort level with the verbiage, with the communication, I think he's more concise, and we've seen him be much more accurate. The old adage, we're on the same page. I think we're making progress to being on the same sentence, if that makes sense. He is, I think his feet are in the right place because he's processing quicker. He's able to anticipate, and the ball's going to the right place. So very pleased with Anthony and where he's at. I think he's getting more comfortable in that leadership role and the things that come with being the quarterback at the University of Florida. Jack Miller also has done extremely well. Been very pleased with Jack. Yesterday in particular, we gave him a few racks with the first group, just as a healthy experience for him, and I thought he did some really good things. So, in this setting, At quarterback, you're dependent on the players around you. You know, the offensive line, the tight ends, the running backs, the receivers. So I think when we get things, we're executing. Jack's very capable. You know, and I will say this, going all the way back to spring, he's moved our team. You know, I know the spring game he threw a couple interceptions and all that, but he's consistently made the right decision. He's very capable. He's got arm talent. He's accurate, and he's a good athlete. So I think we made a really good decision there, and realizing that he is a freshman, right, and he has 4 years to play. I would say Kitna is the player that I probably saw the most growth in, you know, from spring practice, just to see him take another step. Fundamentally, I thought he's throwing the ball much more consistently, much more accurate, better grasp. You know, had a little bit of a setback injury-wise. We anticipate getting him back. He had a small procedure just yesterday. And then Max is a rookie player, and he's going through those growing pains that most rookie quarterbacks go through, right? Everybody's a little bigger, a little faster, a lot of information, a lot to process there. And he's a reflection of most of the rookies on our team. So, and then, you know, Engel has, you know, did good things. He's obviously a walk-on player that, you know, actually got awarded a scholarship for the spring and summer semester, you know, as a result of his work. And a guy that provides some depth there and really has a good understanding, a smart, intelligent player that's got character and brings a lot to our team and locker room. So overall there, I think we got 2 players that can play winning football, and I think we're working hard on getting a third one ready.
Some of the players over the weekend were talking about the penalty reports, and also noticed you have officials and all the practice. How much are players you think taking that to heart, and what have you seen in growth as far as that aspect of the game?
Well, you know, more games are lost than won, right? And I think I think one of the things you got to do is you, as a staff, is teach your players what winning football looks like. You know, we've always taken tremendous pride in not giving the other team anything, right? And, you know, I think undisciplined penalties are, you know, things that you can eliminate, right? You start there. You start with undisciplined penalties. You start with turnovers. You start with mental errors, lack of effort plays, fundamental and technique flaws. You know, we want to eliminate the chinks in the armor, right? I mean, make the other team beat you. And we've always taken great pride in that. I think incrementally each year at the previous stop, we got better in those areas. But when you're taking over a team or a business or any form of leadership, I think the first thing you do is you quality control. What are the things that have nothing to do with the competition or the opponent, and you try to address those things. This is an exercise we do each year. You know, we're going to have some penalties in the game. Our goal is to play 1 in every 30 plays, and we want those to be technical penalties and not undisciplined penalties. So we're making progress there. I think we won't know until we get into that competitive opportunity in venues, but I think it's part of the growth of this team and the education of this team.
Are you familiar with Florida's history there in penalties?
So
Gone back for years.
Right.
Are you aware? I mean, it's led the SEC in penalties like probably a half dozen times in the last decade, 12 years.
Well, I mean,
I'm just asking, did you realize that that's what was going on in the past?
you know, we're learning every day. You know, I think we're learning a little bit every day. You know, you think about, I think 13 years, right? We had 13 years since we won the national championship here, right? In those 13 years, Florida's won the Eastern Division 3 times, right? So there's obviously things that can improve, right? And I think that was part of the assessment of the job, right? Like, okay, what is it going to require to get Florida back in position to where they can be a consistent contender, right? And get in position to be very competitive. So, you know, I think we're just evaluating the things from this previous year, much like we would every year going forward. It just happens to be we weren't here last year, right? So anything that creates awareness for the players, I think is a healthy exercise, right? So, and if the players are talking about it, that means the point got across.
Have you always done, you said you've done in the past, pointed out the flaws, come in and broken down individual players and shown them what they do? And where did you pick that up and start showing these guys just individually where you screwed up?
Yeah, no, I think we've had processes like that at most places that we've worked. I think and I'll say this, I've said this many times, at Louisiana, we took all these things that we learned from a lot of different people, and we kind of started that journey, year one, and I felt like we improved our year-round plan for development for players. At Louisiana, we didn't get the 5-star. We started from scratch with a lot of players. We projected. We took height, length, and speed. We had to teach football at a much different level, and I think it made us better as coaches. So what we learned through that is that the feedback part of what we do as coaches is the most important part, right? I think repetition, feedback, what does that process look like, and how can we improve our learning environment, right? Ultimately, a coach is to teach. The root word of the work code, coach is stage coach, right? You got to get people from point A to point B, right? And what does that look like, and what can we do to recreate the game in practice? And I think we have a very specific plan in each phase of the year, so feedback's it is the most, it is what we do, right? And how can we improve at that? So, it's individualized, right? I was reading the other day, the guy was talking about, hey, businesses don't get better, people get better, right? Teams don't get better, people get better, right? So it's each individual. This is not just players, right? We do this in all parts of an organization, right? What are the things that we can improve? This brings up a point. Today we had Carlos Mendez was in from the Echelon front, and he talked about ownership, right? He talked about it's very much a military, Navy SEAL, presentation, and he talked about the debrief, and how critical that is to, evaluate, right? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? What can we do better? What are our contingency plans? How do we improve our SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. Essentially, that's what we do as coaches, right? So, we got to continue to learn, and we got to remain humble enough to know that we can do it better. We got to keep adapting. So, I think your question is a good one.
You talked a minute ago about just different level of athlete of what you had at Louisiana. How do you coach that differently, if at all?
I think they're in a different. Some of our team maybe is similar, but some of these guys are just in a different place relative to the set of fundamentals that they have, the football intelligence that they have. The term raw is used, right? What are we trying to do with players, right? We're trying to, number one, improve character. Okay, number two, we're trying to increase knowledge, and number three, we're trying to develop skill. Right? And notice I didn't say talent, right? We said skill level, So I think we, projected. We took height, length, and speed, and we worked hard on improving character. We're going to do that independent of the talent level, the physical traits. But, okay, what about the football intelligence? How do we implement and teach football from a year-round standpoint? And then, okay, guy doesn't have maybe the skill level, the set of fundamentals and techniques. Maybe the guy never played the position that he's playing, right? I think at Florida, maybe you get a little bit more of a finished product relative to their football intelligence, their skill level, the things that they've been exposed to in the past. So now I think our roster is always going to be made up of different levels in all those categories, and then you adjust accordingly, right? But, I think ultimately, two areas that I think we really led to our success was our evaluation process and recruiting. and I think our development, the level of detail that we discovered we were going to need to have success. So I'm excited about applying those things here in this setting.
Guys, time for two more. Jacob, and then we'll close with that.
You guys have been wearing those helmet covers in practices. Can you just talk about the decision behind doing that, kind of what led to that whole development?
Yeah, no, I think the Guardian caps have been around for a number of years. I think there was an initial idea there, and kind of that process got started. You saw them start to pop up, different places that we've worked in the past. We've used them. And ultimately, the National Football League has been the driver behind all the research to improve player safety. And I think that, what we've learned over time is the data would support that the player is 20% less likely to get a concussion in a practice setting if he's wearing the Guardian cap, right? So in the past, our line of scrimmage players, our edge players, front seven players have worn those. And ultimately, we made the decision for every player to wear them this year. So, I think, again, it's a great game we play. It is a physical game. It is a violent game. And I think any and everything that we can do to create player safety, to improve player safety, especially in the practice setting, we want to do that. So I'm certainly excited about, I think, being one of several teams to make that decision. And it's been good so far.
Okay, close with Edgar.
Yeah, Billy, Mike Peterson's foundation held an event yesterday, and some of the coaches' wives, including your better half, were out there helping out. What does it mean to just have an impact on the community as a coach and the families involved in your program?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, first of all, I think you just got to get back to what is your purpose, I think we're all very fortunate, right? I mean, we're in a position where we got more than most, and any opportunity that we have that we can serve, we can give back, we can provide for those maybe that are in need. I think it's probably the most important thing that we do. So it's great to have Mike, who is connected, locally, has a good pulse and understanding of the community here. We've got several other staff members that would fit in that category too. But it is important that we get connected, right? And I think hopefully you'll see all parts of our organization get plugged in and really starting to live life of gratitude and help other people. These are things that are critical, and I'm hopeful that we can continue to do more of it.